Why you fight. The real reason married couples end up in conflict they can't control. The problem sounds like this. I'm starting fights with her. I don't know why. He puts me down in front of our kids. This is not the woman I married. Statements like these might sound familiar in your household. The question is why? Why is this happening? It's only in the last 20 years that scientists have discovered long-hidden secrets about the brain, its connection to emotions, and how this all relates to how happy your marriage is, even down to how many fights you have. I'm Larry Bellotta, and through 27 years of a formerly miserable marriage, I found a simpler way to explain what these brain scientists have discovered. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can apply these little-known secrets to your own marriage, so you can cut the stress and conflict out of your life starting right now. Programs, as they explain it, it's just like a television program. You watch it once, get the idea, and then later you watch it again, and you're not surprised. Nothing has changed. Every line, every action, every sound is exactly the same each time you watch. And this is how your brain program works. Each time they play, they give you the exact same message. But there's one major difference between a TV program you watch using your eyes and the program that plays in your brain. You'll want to know this difference. It's a very big deal once you know what it is. The television program was produced by other people and designed to get you interested, excited, and expecting a climax of the story, and that's where the TV program ends. Your brain programs, on the other hand, were produced by people you know very well. It was the significant adults who raised you, your biological parents, your relatives, your adopted parents, or even your caretakers if you were raised by foster parents. These are the producers of your brain programs. It all took place in the first 10 years of your life. During that single decade, the synaptic connections in your brain were forming, and as they did, your parents' instructions on how to live, how to prioritize, how to handle every part of life was installed. So now you're beginning to see it if your first 10 years with those adults were full of uncertainty, fear, immorality, or even trauma. Your brain will begin urging you to recreate the conditions of those days, and most important, it will urge you back to this version of normal for the rest of your life. Now, it's important that you understand that you were raised on a scale that we can measure. I call it the chaos to purpose scale. It's a scale that describes those first 10 years of your life in an attempt to find out how much chaos you were exposed to during those programming years. At 0% on the chaos side, the very worst place to grow up might have been living with a single mother with 3 kids by 3 different men in an apartment with drugs and alcohol. Not a safe place for kids. But if you grew up at the 100% end of the scale, the purpose side, it was a single family home with your mom and dad, and your father was tough but fair and interested in you as a person. He made you feel valuable and important. That'd be the best place to grow up. Between these extremes, all children's programs are formed. On the chaos side, programs are installed into people who will populate our society. As more parents abandon their children to essentially raise themselves, the more chaos kids we produce, the weaker our society becomes. With each generation, we are programming either moral people with a conscience, empathy, and productive goals, or we're programming confused, self-centered, and fearful adults who are programmed to destroy whatever they touch. That's my story. I'm a chaos kid programmed by an alcoholic and a gambler. It's only because of my strong-willed wife who forced me to become responsible that I have a sane life today. But what is an invisible lifestyle? Look up the word lifestyle. It says a way of life or style of living that reflects the values of a person or group. That person or group, in this case, are your programmers, your parents. Lifestyle, then, is their values that will drive those programs in your brain for a lifetime. How does the invisible lifestyle work? Well, it's the behavior of the adults who raise you. That's how it works. Their actions drop the instructions into your brain, and no one knows it's happening, not the parents doing it or the child being programmed by it. Think of it simply. Let's look at just one program behavior from thousands of possibilities so you can understand it. A hot temper. Let's say Dad has one. Small irritations enrage him, and his way of handling an improperly set table, or a broken garbage bag, or a missed item on a grocery list is to attack the offending person no matter what their age. Dad's brain has been programmed in his first 10 years by his angry and emotionally unstable father, and now he's blindly and unknowingly, absent-mindedly, passing on that rage to his children. With each offense, he guarantees the promise that a future generation will endure his wrath. Now, for most people, these programs won't show up at work or social situations, but the place where our childhood programs are going to be relived with outstanding accuracy is in the most intimate relationship in life, marriage. Even when confronted with the results of our negative programs, we'll still deny it. These are invisible lifestyles. During the romance period, you worked hard to hide those flaws, but after marriage, you got comfortable, and then your childhood programs came marching out, much to your spouse's shock. People say that they don't want to be like their parents. They try very hard to push off the programs they were given and live what they believe is right, but few ever succeed. After all, your childhood programs, they never tire, but your willpower to resist them is erratic at best. Now, most of all, it's our ignorance and our denial that these programs exist, which ultimately is our undoing, and we fall back into their grip. Can't I be mad at my parents for putting these bad programs in me? In a word, no. Your parents in their parenting day were just like you and yours. They didn't know about the invisible lifestyle either. Your grandparents' programs were released into them just like your parents' programs were released into you. It's something you need to forgive, just like you hope your kids will forgive you. Question is, which generation will finally wake up to their chaos and visible lifestyle programs and protect their own children from being invaded? Why doesn't everyone know about these programs? This is a simple answer, and you can see it all around you. Which one of us wants to do what our parents did? We're trying to be our own person, independent of our parents. That's why we're unwilling to learn about our invisible lifestyle. Why don't we see the effects of these programs? Well, since we've all been subscribing to the program blindness, we've decided we're just reacting to how other people treat us, and it's their fault. We can't see or understand the source of our behavior, our reactions, but it comes down to the programs in our brain from those first 10 years. Why is it important that we see our programs? Well, think of it this way. It's like body odor and deodorant. If you go to a wedding, you know you're going to be close to people. You want to smell good. If you don't smell good, it could turn you into an outcast with a bad reputation. For this reason, you prepare with shower and deodorant. Well, the invisible lifestyle works just like that. Because if you don't prepare, there's going to be some consequences, and they will affect your mate, your kids. So to end the pain, awareness is the answer. If you don't do something now to change those damaging invisible lifestyle programs, your kids pay the price. And once again, awareness is the answer. The people who need to learn about their invisible lifestyle programs are those who saw their marriages fail. But what's the cause? You're starting to realize that you're not the only person in the marriage with programs from your first 10 years. Both of you have them, and they're clashing. You thought it was differences in habits and opinions, but that's a smokescreen hiding the real thing. In a marriage, stressful moments appear to be your spouse ganging up on you in a relentless effort to prove how wrong you are in your belief, opinion, or decision. Let's look at a common example. Suppose your spouse is angry at you for being late for events, but she is programmed to be on time all the time. Now, deep down, you get this calm feeling about leaving late, but in her, there's a calming feeling about being early. Now you've got a problem. It turns out to be your childhood's driving your adult behavior, and each of you feel threatened when your own program is attacked. If you're like most spouses I talk with, the person you married wants nothing to do with communicating now, but in spite of his or her resistance, I think you should suggest that he or she watch this video. It can't hurt. This video is your excuse to get the emphasis off the two of you and on to your opposite childhoods. Look at your two sets of parent programmers and realize you're fighting for your parents' value system, not your own. You both need to talk about this history. It's why your marriage melts down 2, 7, 15, 20 years later. Year after year, I prove with couple after couple that it's parents' value systems installed in those first 10 years that stand at the source of why you fight. These values are so invisible that you both believe that you are upset about how conversations go, or you are upset about how affection should go. But this is your belief. Or does it really belong to your parents or grandparents? Why do you fight over values that you did not create yourself, choose yourself, think through yourself? Wouldn't that make you a mindless robot following instructions put in your brain long before you became a responsible adult? So stop focusing on the issue to fight about. Instead, look at the source installed long ago. Look back in time at your programmers and stop focusing on the heat of the moment or each other. This brings some much needed calm and reason back to your relationship. I intend to help you break the chaos kid cycle in your marriage. I created the Invisible Lifestyle mini course, and in it you're going to find a series of videos, reports, a workbook that show you how to discover where you were raised on that chaos to purpose scale, and step by step you're going to uncover those hidden programs in your brain, even decommissioning the ones that you don't want. Now if you're ready to find these programs that are driving a wedge in your marriage, pushing you even closer to divorce, click the green button below this video that says Get Started Now. You're going to be taken to a page where you can access that mini course. And while you're there, listen to the radio interviews that I did with chaos kids that are just like myself. Now they understand what it's like to be married to a chaos kid with troubling programs, and you're going to hear how they found relief. So to a less stressful and more fulfilling marriage, I'm Larry Bellata.